That is pretty much it. Okay, so yeah, this was posted basically almost an hour and a half ago, so it is very recent. Coming from the Pokemon Unite official social media account on Twitter. So naturally, you guys can just head over there, and I will also give you the link as well. Here, let me just post the link in the chat so that way you guys can just follow along or just read at your own pace so you guys don't have to wait on me to read everything. Blah, blah, blah. Um, oh shoot, hold on. I didn't mean to, pin that. Okay, so I decided to come back just because apparently this is a pretty big patch notes or a dev letter and upcoming stuff and features to Pokemon Unite. Quite frankly, there's nothing that they can really do for this game that's probably going to impress me. So I'm probably like the last person you should ask if uh, the game's going to get better because I'm probably going to say no most of the time. That being said, I'm always open to keep an open mind to a certain extent, but oh wait, hold on. Sorry, I was in the middle of drinking my soda before I started stream. All right, guys. Um, let's get into it. I'm just gonna kind of go over the patch notes, give my thoughts on everything, kind of help you guys understand what's going on, and then we'll go from there. Keep in mind, this is a very, very, very short stream. I'm literally just gonna go over the patch notes, talk about it, yap about it, and then give my opinions on things that are going to be happening in the near future, and then after that, I'm just going straight to bed. I gotta wake up and like if I'm gonna be watching the UCS day two, then I gotta, or sorry, LAIC day two, then I gotta be up in a few hours anyways. So yeah, you guys will see me very soon anyways. All right, so Pokemon Unite from the Pokemon Unite official social media account on Twitter. You got the blue check mark and the nice little Pikachu logo, so you know it's official. Thank you for your continued enjoyment of Pokemon Unite. To further improve the trainer experience, we will be updating the Unite license acquisition method, ranking system, battle map, and more starting December. Today, we would like to introduce some of the update contents. Details in the link below. So you know what? Let's click the link one more time. Obviously, we had the tab open, but we'll just click it again. All right, Pokemon Unite update notice. Hello trainers, thank you for continuing to play Pokemon Unite. To improve players' experience, we plan to make updates to Unite license acquisition, the ranking system, battle maps, and more. We'll introduce just a few of the updates here. December update, so that's next month, of course. Additional information as of November 22nd regarding license points and the EOS coin exchange. So tomorrow's, November 22nd. Please see the details below regarding exchanging previously earned EOS coins for the license points. So they already briefly touched on this. This is a new system that's going to be it's going to be a new system that's going to be replacing the current EOS coins next month. So you can do one of two things. You can either exchange your current EOS coins for license points, or you can spend all your EOS coins for whatever you can possibly buy before the change happens. It's really up to you. Now they're providing more details. So the exchange rate. This was one of the many questions that people had about the new system that is taking place next month. So every 10 EOS coins is one license point. Pretty straightforward. So you just do the math on how many EOS coins you have, and you just do the conversion. So every 10 EOS coins is one license point. That is the conversion rate. Points required to obtain a license. In license journeys, the number of license points required to obtain a Pokemon's Unite license will vary per license. So this is pretty like a lot of people were making a big deal about this new system, but it's literally just a new currency. All right, it's not that big of a deal. You just have to keep in mind, like, are you going to be losing out on EOS coins if you're converting to license points? I mean, it really just depends on what licenses you're missing. I can't imagine it's gonna be that much of a difference. So it gives you a range. License points required 325 to 1960. So what that tells you right off the rip, the cheapest license is going to be 325. So that's probably like the very early season Pokemon or stuff that was just always available. So we're probably talking about like Ninetales, Pikachu, Charizard, maybe Talonflame. Because I remember if you were a returning player back in the day, you could claim those Pokemon for free. But now it's a little bit different now. Up until 1960. So this is probably the newest Pokemon that are available through coins right now. Obviously, it's going to be license points very soon, but yeah, 1960 is probably the most expensive license when it's transitioned over to the new system. So realistically, guys, you just do the math on how much EOS coins you want to convert to license points. You also have to think about it like this. It's just like, they did mention that there's going to be other rewards available. I don't know what those rewards are, but that was based on their phrasing in the previous public piece of information. So you're not limited to only getting license points. There are potential other rewards. Naturally, I'm assuming most of those things are not going to be the most appealing things, because they are probably things that have been in the game for a very long time. Probably things like emblems or like item enhancers, that stuff. And quite frankly, if you've been playing the game for a relatively long time, I'm assuming you probably don't have much need for those things to begin with. So, you just spend your coins at your own discretion. Obtaining a license at the shop. If you would like a specific Unite license, we recommend obtaining it via EOS coins at the shop before the maintenance starts at 3 UTC on December 4, 2025. So the maintenance for the new system will take place on December 4th. So basically, you have until then to decide whether you want to spend your EOS coins beforehand, or if you just want to wait until after the fact and you just start converting your points into other stuff, whether it be license points or miscellaneous rewards. It's up to you. After the update, you will no longer be able to obtain Unite licenses via EOS coins. So yeah, EOS coins are going to go poof, and essentially you will not be able to buy Unite licenses with EOS coins. Pretty straightforward, pretty self-explanatory. Like, I shouldn't have to really go into much detail or explanation about that. Exchanging EOS coins at the EOS Coin Exchange after December 4th, 2025. After December 4th, 2025, you'll be able to use the EOS Coin Exchange to exchange previously earned EOS coins for license points, which can be used in licensed journeys. Besides license points, we will also plan to make other items, such as fashion items, holoware, and more available at the EOS Coin Exchange in exchange for EOS coins. Now, quite frankly, this could have potential, but it really just depends on what holoware they plan on having in the EOS Coin Exchange to begin with. Like, are we talking about exclusive holoware that we could only buy with money? Or is it just the same copy-paste orange-purple t-shirt holoware that no one really gives a shit about because they're just plain Jane ugly designs that honestly look like an intern coder probably just put into the game for shits and giggles? So it really just depends. Holoware, obviously subjective. Not holoware. Fashion items is obviously subjective. It just refers to the fashion accessories that your character wears in game. So if you're the type of person that likes to style your character, then you can probably just maybe buy some new outfits if you want to. But I don't know, it's really up to you. We'll see here. So bottom line is, just to recap up until now, EOS coins getting replaced December 4th. You have until then to buy licenses if you want to, or spend your EOS coins however you see fit. When the new system comes out, You can no longer buy licenses with EOS coins because they're not going to exist anymore. You're going to have to use them to convert into license points, and then you use those license points for licenses. You can either use them for fashion items or hollowware and more, quote unquote. I don't know what more entails besides that stuff, but apparently there's more options. So you're not limited to only buying Unite license points if you don't feel the need to buy any more Pokemon for whatever reason. Updates to the ranking system. So this is kind of explaining or going into stuff that was previously mentioned in the most recent patch notes or, public piece of information. Now we're getting into the newer stuff that they have mentioned in this patch notes. Updates to the ranking system. Starting after the update on December 4th, there will be a new ranking system. We're preparing a new system that will make it easier for players to track their performance in battle and feel like they're progressing towards their rank. Okay. Hopefully, this is just like a UI thing rather than, them having a typo and sometimes the phrasing gets a little lost, or sometimes they don't convey what they intend to say properly in these patch notes because sometimes they just butcher their thoughts on paper, let's put it that way. So hopefully it just means like a UI thing and they don't actually mean they're making it even easier to climb than it already is. Because if that's the case, God help us all. Main changes to the system. Rank progression will change to a gauge. The way players rise through the ranks will change to a gauge system, in which players battle to earn rank points to increase their rank point gauge. Players will earn rank points based on ranked match results. Performance-based rank points. In addition to rank points gained or lost by winning or losing a match, players will also be able to earn rank points based on their performance in battle. For example, the team member that takes the most damage or interrupted the most goals will be awarded a title and receive extra points. With the addition of performance-based titles and rank points, no matter which role a player fills on their team, their contributions will be rewarded. You see, so this is kind of like another thing that is already setting off like red flags for me. So basically, they're just trying to say, in a very roundabout way, you're going to have the opportunity to earn bonus points towards climbing in ranked based on things that you do throughout the progression of the game. Or things you do by the end of the game, whenever that ends. So, you can see in the picture right here, and of course I'll be very specific, like you can see right here, oh, number 1 damage dealer, number 1 KOs. So obviously this just means you were the one that did the most amount of damage in the match. You also have the most amount of KOs, so that's going to be +3. So that's an additional 6 points. Now, as you can see in this one, or instead of the diamonds, you have a gauge now. So you're getting points after wins and maybe even losses as well. It's really hard to say right now because the feature's not out yet. So after one match, they got 26 points total. So they got 20 plus 20 for the victory, and then +6 for the 2 titles. Alright? So we got +6 because of 1, 2. So it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it really just depends how grindy the climbing process is in this new updated ranking system. But either way, let's continue onwards. The addition of the new the addition of the new legend rank. For top trainers wanting a challenge, we're adding a new rank above master rank, legend. This newest highest rank will be awaiting competitive players. You see, what people fail to understand right here, and I already know for a fact the average player that plays this game, the average player does not understand that this doesn't necessarily make ranked better. Do you want to know why? And it's very easy. Here's a very simple thing that will even get through the thickest skulls of people that like to just be stubborn. So, as you can see right now, and I'll draw a nice little picture, and I'll move my camera. Sorry, I didn't realize I was blocking part of it. But let me move my camera to the right over here, just so you guys can see the whole picture. Alright, here we go. So, you have a range of your ranks. Alright, 0 to 500. So this is rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, rank 5, rank 6, and then obviously the new one is rank 7. Now, nothing really, besides the system itself, so we went from, now we're going from diamonds plus performance points now we're going from that to oh wait, did I spell it wrong? I'm trolling, didn't I? Oops. I'm trolling. Okay. So we're going from performance points to gauge. Now, here's the thing. We have no idea because they don't specify. That's the problem. It's hard to decide, or it's hard to have an opinion on something when you don't have all the information present. We know how the old system works. The old system is when you win, you get a diamond. When you lose a diamond. With the exception of whether you have, the exception being if you have performance points available or a protection card to prevent you from losing a diamond. Naturally, you can also gain a bonus diamond if you have enough performance points. So we understand how this system works right now. In this new updated version, there's a lot of questions that are not, I haven't read through everything, but there's a lot of questions that are not answered. Number one, so when this new system comes out, are we getting a full reset? That's the first question. At least that's the first question that I have as a player when this new system comes out. Is everyone going to go back to beginner when this new system comes out? Are we going to go back to, is it going to be the same as usual? We go to Ultra 3 if we made it to 1600? Are they going to do a soft reset? Maybe not even a full reset. Maybe they do a soft reset because there is a difference between the two. A full reset. So, a full reset refers to you going, let's pretend you got to 1600 this season, alright? So let's pretend that you made it to the highest accolade that you could possibly get in terms of rewards. So once you get to 1600, you get your season sticker, and that's pretty much it. And then you stay there, or you go above 1600, and then by the end of the season, you would go back to Ultra 3. So we'll do Ultra 3 here. That's what you call a soft reset. A full reset would be when the new season starts, you go to beginner and you start from the ground up. Beginner, class 1, and then you gotta work your way, all the way back to where you were and eventually this new legend rank. Alright? So we don't know how many points you're gonna get. All right. We don't know how many points you're gonna get per win. We don't know if it's gonna require more points per rank. We don't know if you're gonna get less points per rank. So there's a lot of questions that aren't answered because it's not, the information is not given to us. So it's really hard to say whether or not this is going to be better or worse, because it's like, how am I supposed to make that judgment, or how am I supposed to make that opinion or formulate an opinion based on unknown variables? Like, I don't think anyone in their right mind can honestly say this is good or bad, because you don't know until it eventually, like, until it gets implemented into the game, you don't know whether it's good or bad. It's that simple. However, one thing I can say is, hold on, let me erase my doodle. The one thing I can say is, unless they provide, yeah, okay, guys. So right now, the best reward you can get playing Pokemon Unite, and this applies to everyone that plays this game. This is just a fact. Anyone that plays this game in terms of ranked, as in, you're climbing the rank from whatever rank to eventually master, the peak rank or the peak reward is 1600 equals sticker, which is a garbage reward. I think we can all say that realistically, no one gives a shit about a sticker that we're not even going to use at all. It has like negative value. The only thing it's used for is just to kind of remind ourselves that, hey, during that season, we made it to at least 1600 at some point. It doesn't necessarily mean we finished there, but we got there at some point. That's it. The biggest question that people should be asking, or the people that should be asking, like, themselves, are there going to be any meaningful rewards to climb to legend? Because it doesn't matter if you add a new ranked or not. If the proper incentivization is not there, it's just a meaningless grind. It's like the equivalent of being 1600 master, and then people just keep, like, they continuously play. Yeah, they get elo. Let's say, for example, you go from 1600 elo to, 2000 elo, for example. You know what the difference between this and this is? Nothing. There's no rewards. You're not getting rewarded for your time. You cap out on your EOS coins per week, so as long as you play that minimum amount of time to get those coins, like, that's it. It's not like you're gonna get any more than that. And it's just your own ego inflation, I guess. I mean, if you want to set your own personal best record, you could do that too. Like, obviously, it could be like a short-term or long-term goal. Maybe you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try my best to beat my previous season's ELO record, which was blank. So there's that. But, like, if all it is, let's say, for example, all it is just, like, adding a new sticker, my god, like no one's going to give a crap. Alright? Now, however, there's always the opposite side of the spectrum. Let's pretend that they do decide to add a reward. Like, maybe they realize that they made a mistake. Maybe they realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe we get a skin for our Pokemon. An exclusive seasonal skin for our Pokemon. That would be pretty cool. I mean, they did it in the past, so it's not like the idea of that is impossible. But that's all just optimistic thinking. Alright? So the bottom line is like, if the reward, or if your time is not rewarded through proper incentivization, legend rank is probably going to be meaningless. However, if there is a reward to justify grinding for legend rank, then it is more than likely people will try to continue playing even after master rank. So we will see. Hold on. Updates to Thea Skyrune's battle map. With the September update that added Groudon, we've been able to deliver a different Thea Skyrune's experience. With this update, we're going to make multiple... Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. An ad is about to play, alright? An ad is about to play, so I'll just stop right here, and I'll wait for the ad to finish, and I'll continue. Alright. In the meantime, we're just chilling, guys, you know, vibing. On a side note, though, there's really nothing like I'm not like I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for the ad to finish, but there hasn't been anything that really convinced me to believe that anything they're doing right now is gonna make the game better than it was before. Like the license thing is trivial. All right, like I'm gonna be honest. The license thing is trivial. If you've been like someone like myself that has been playing since day one, I already have every single license that I can possibly purchase, at least on my main account, which is honestly, at the end of the day, that's the only account that matters. Like, I have every single license that I can possibly buy at this current moment, and I'm literally just waiting for Dhelmise and Vaporeon to become available through coins so that I can purchase them. However, by the time they become available to the public, the new system is going to be in place. So yeah, I mean, like the Unite license thing is whatever. It doesn't really mean that much. It's just a new currency. The whole gauge thing. I mean, it doesn't really change anything. Like if we were to use this picture as an example right here, off this one match, they gain 20 points. Like, assuming that they didn't earn any titles, like, these are bonuses. Like, these are new bonuses that will be added to the game. But pretend that they didn't get any of these. That would mean that they would have got 20 points, alright? 20 points. And because it's out of 100, well, you would need to what? Get 5 wins? 5 wins to get to, what, 100? And then you just go on to Ultra Class 4, rinse and repeat, however long it takes. But see, that alone, here's the thing though, guys. Just doing basic math, it really just depends on whether you get titles or not. Because let's pretend you don't get any titles. So that's 20 points per win, alright? This is literally just basic math. So 20 points per win, the total's 100. So that means you would need 5 wins. Like, assuming you got no titles for every single match that you played, if that's even possible, you would need a total of 5 consecutive wins to get this amount. Just to get promoted to the next class. Now, obviously at this rank, I can't imagine people not getting the titles, but I'm just trying to be conservative. So the bare minimum is 5 wins, but by that logic, like if we were to use the logic of someone not getting titles, which means they're not getting these bonus license points, or sorry, not license points, this bonus gauge points, then that would mean you're playing more games in this new system than the current system in place. Because think of it like this. Like right now, you need a diamond to win, alright? So when you start off at a new class, you have 0 diamonds, alright? So you need 3 full diamonds, and then after that, you need 1 more win. So that's a total of 4 diamonds total, alright? To get promoted from one class to the next class. 4 diamonds. In this, like I said, if you were to get no titles, that's 5. But obviously, that's me being like very, very, very conservative. It really like the question is it like I wonder if it's impossible to not get a title, like with the exception of someone just being genuinely AFK. I don't know if they're gonna keep the win streak bonuses. That is like one thing that is still kind of up in the air. It's a toss up, but we'll see. Okay, so going back to this. With this update, we're going to make multiple changes to the map, including its shape and tall grass. We hope these change how Pokemon interact with the map and offer more Pokemon the chance to shine. Our biggest change, however, will be the legendary Pokemon that appears at the 8-minute mark, Kyogre. The team that defeats Kyogre will gain an effect that continually restores HP and makes it easier to score goals. The effect synergizes well with all-rounders and defenders, and we predict it'll greatly affect team fights and the final stretch. Our goal is to deliver a new battle experience that require new player strategies. Dates and times for this update will be announced in the future. We hope you look forward to it. Alright, so that's a lot of info. Alright, so let's break it down. We'll keep it simple. So obviously, they're referring to back in September, Groudon replaced Rayquaza, so it's been quite a bit of time. They're going to be making map changes, alright? Multiple changes to the map. This is obviously a big one, question mark. Including its shape and tall grass. So, I'm underlining the stuff that it's potentially changing. We hope these change how Pokemon interact with the map and offer more Pokemon the chance to shine. So this is just, it depends on what they do. Like, when they say making changes to the map, what does that entail exactly? We can only speculate, but we don't know. And because we don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. So the most recent change to terrain was quite a while back. But basically they removed some of the bushes in the Rayquaza area. So they removed some of the bushes. What else did they do? There's less tall grass in some places. They slightly tweaked it. But unless we know what they do, we don't know how the Pokemon would respond to sudden changes like that. So it's really hard to say whether it's good or bad. Now keep in mind, in that recent update, or not recent update, what I should say is when Groudon was initially, well, sorry, not Groudon, when Rayquaza was still in effect, we had more bushes in the center area, the jungle area. So because they removed that, that just allowed for more upfront brawling in the average game because there's less places to hide. So it's very hard for some Pokemon to utilize that open space because they don't want to be investing a lot of energy repositioning when they're exposed. Would Goodra heal more in tall grass than in short grass? I don't know. It'd probably be the same. Hold on. So of course, Kyogre is going to replace Groudon at the 8-minute mark. What does Kyogre do? The team that defeats Kyogre will gain an effect that continuously restores HP and makes it easier to score goals. The effect synergizes well with all-rounders and defenders, and we predict it'll greatly affect team fights and the final stretch. Our goal is to deliver a new battle experience that will require new player strategies. Dates and times for this update will be announced in the future. We hope you look forward to it. The first thing that I've noticed right away, at least when they mentioned this, they didn't mention anything about whether or not the buff is going to transfer. So the first question is that when you KO someone that has the Kyogre buff, do you get the buff as well? Or do you just burn, like when you destroy someone on the enemy team with the buff, like does the buff just die with them? Or do you get it or not, like not at all? That's the first question. Because obviously that will make a huge difference in the long run. And then it still makes a huge difference even now because it allows for possible counterplays. Because number one, the biggest difference between Kyogre and Groudon is Groudon, you get offensive stats. You get offensive stats making you stronger for brawling, essentially. When it comes to Kyogre, sorry, brain farted there. When it comes to Kyogre, you're not getting those offensive stats. Now you're going to get sustain, which is debatably worse than the offensive stats. Because, yeah, people can have the sustain from the Kyogre buff, for example, but it's just dependent on the team comp as well. Like, obviously, it would benefit people that are relatively, like, a decently bulky or essentially people that can soak up a certain amount of damage to a degree. But, like, an example of this buff not benefiting certain Pokemon would be, I don't know, let's say like a Glass Cannon ranged attacker. You may be able to regen HP, but they're frail to begin with. So most of the time, when someone... How should I phrase this? Okay, we'll get there shortly. We'll get there shortly. I'll look at the changes in a second. Groudon is good for counter pushing and fighting because you just have a significant amount of damage output. Sustain is also good in a way, but you're not going to have that same level of damage threat because you have a different buff. And they didn't mention anything about the buff transfer. So if I KO someone with blank, am I getting the buff or is it just dead with you? Oh, sorry. I was also gonna say, when it comes to the Kyogre buff, that's eventually gonna enter Unite. Sustain doesn't really benefit Glass Cannons because their HP is relatively low to begin with. So let's say for example you have like a Cinderace on your team and they have the Kyogre buff. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna benefit from it because their overall HP total is just low to begin with because they're a glass cannon. So let's say, for example, Leafeon jumps on top of that Cinderace with, Unite Move combo, Razor Leaf, whatever. Even if you have Sustain, you're just going to get melted regardless. So I would hope that people that... I would hope that people that are utilizing that buff are the ones that can actually benefit, as in they can soak up a bit of damage and they get the value out of that sustain. But it's definitely going to be hard, it's definitely going to be harder to counter push when you don't have those offensive stats. That's for sure. The effect synergizes well with all rounders and defenders, and we predict it'll greatly affect the team fights and the final stretch. Our goal is to deliver a new battle experience that will require new player strategies. Dates and times for this update will be announced in the future. We hope you look forward to it. Okay, so let's take a look, guys. So let's spot the changes. So number one, right here. Well, not even... Okay, so right here, there's a change right there. 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 Change right here. Change right here. I don't remember if these were here. I'm kind of brain farting right now. Were these bushes always here? I know the L bushes are a thing. I don't remember these two mini ones right here. Obviously... Okay, so, hold on. Okay. Now, here's the thing. When Kyogre spawns, the question I have is whether this top section right here, this top section is going to close off. That's my question. Hold on. Because that's the thing that's always bugged me. And they've talked about this too. That's why there's always been an advantage about playing around the bottom side. Because when you play around the bottom side, you have access to the objective, which is right here. When it came to Zapdos, and when it came to Rayquaza, and even now as Groudon, this top section closes off when it spawns. So it's hard to say whether this is going to be a big difference or not until we see if there's a additional piece of terrain right here. Because here's the thing. It doesn't make sense to me that bot lane, playing around the bottom side has an advantage over top side. It should be symmetrical. So if it's like this, I have no problem with that. I think it's better like this. But if it's sealed off like it has been in the recent variations of Thea Skyrunes, and even now, then it doesn't matter. Because essentially it's going to be the same thing of people having to... you can still play around topside, but eventually it's still going to be the same thing. People having to navigate themselves to the front so they can start hitting the ground. The Kyogre eventually. But there are a lot of like, see, and this is the thing that doesn't make sense to me. Although they're adding changes to Pokemon Unite, they are very indecisive about what they do to the game. If you guys took the time to read the patch notes, or if you took the time to read these dev letters, they always say something. They say one thing and they end up reverting the change back to how it was before. So before they're okay. So the first variation was these bushes were here before. Originally the bushes were there. And then they take them out. Because they want to encourage team fighting. They want to encourage, brawling instead of people like flipping the objective right here. But then it's so counterintuitive, or like it's so counterproductive when they end up adding the stuff that they removed basically back where it was. It's not even like they moved this either. It's back to where it was. Yes, they're adding, bushes here. But now it's gonna... Like, it will change the dynamic. Don't misunderstand. It will change the way people set up for Kyogre, because it's going to put more priority of setting up, positioning, and taking advantage of these new bushes, if you want to call it that. Like, obviously, these are not new. But because you have more places to hide, then obviously look at the blue. Oh, I know. You're talking about this and you're talking about this, right? Well, this is okay. So I don't know if they're switching the buff around, but like you have, I'm assuming one buff here and one buff there. It's not that big of a deal. That to me, that's kind of trivial. Like at the end of the day, it just changes your pathing a little. But it's like, unless the buffs themselves are getting stronger, then essentially you're still going to be clearing your full jungle. Like, it doesn't matter that much. I did notice it, and I'm assuming it's the same over here as well. Like, you can see one right here, and Kyogre's blocking the other side. Look, as a jungler main, I can tell you that it can be good and it can be bad. And it also depends on what Pokemon you're playing. Because now what happens is, like, think about it like this. So obviously you start the game right here. That's me. All right, I'm gonna walk over. You have the choice of doing the Baltoy or doing the buff. All right, and then you have to branch off to either, here or here. And if you're playing something like a Leafeon, for example, just using Leafeon as an example because people play in the jungle, like, it's good because now you can do your Natu. You can do your Natu, go to your buff immediately and save time. Maybe do this, and then just go straight here. So it's pretty, like, it's like more linear now, if that makes sense. Not to mention, I don't know if this is I don't know if there's going to be anything right here. So if you actually pay close attention, and I'll see if I can zoom in on this. Hold on. Oops. Alright. So if you look right here, for example, there's a nice open gap right here. I don't know if that means it's going to be open or not. Like, I notice these things, guys. It's just like, I can't... Until I see it in the game, I can't give you definitive information. This is all subject to change as well. So until it's in the game, like, it's like... They can change it at any point in time at the snap of a finger. But obviously, this is a benefit. Like, if this area is open, That just means that you don't have to walk around anymore. Like, go through here. You can literally just walk straight. Like, you can literally just walk straight, do the Xatu, assuming it's still there. Xatu right here, and then you can branch off to however you want to path. Like, you can go up there, you can go up there. Heck, you can even go straight up here, go straight up there. It's all situational, it's all team comp dependent, it's all strategy dependent. Like, there's the beauty of a MOBA game, and this is what some people will never understand because they just lack the fundamentals. You are not supposed to play a MOBA the same way over and over and over again. You're going to be playing against different players. You're going to be playing against different comps. You're going to be playing against... Like, there's going to be different strats. Like, imagine... Okay, think about it like this. Imagine me just doing the same thing over and over again. And, like, think about it from, like, a competitive point of view, alright? Hold on. Sorry. Okay, let me pause right here because an ad's about to play. I apologize, but let me pause it right here. An ad's about to play, and then I'll come back to this. I won't progress any further, just because it's Sorry, I think I spilled my drink. Sorry, I gotta get a napkin, guys. Give me 1 second. I think I spilled my drink without even realizing. Is this still 10 minutes? What's 10 minutes? I need to wipe my keyboard too. Is this still 10 minutes gameplay? I'm assuming so, but if there's any news about that, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Okay, so we have 60 more seconds on the ad, guys, and then I can continue the discussion. So, if you guys are just tuning in, or if you guys are just happy to pass by through my stream, obviously I'm just talking about the new developer patch notes that are coming to Pokemon Unite. It's gonna start taking place December 4th of next month, and then it's gonna progressively add and change things over the course of next month. December 4th is when the EOS coins are discontinued, and then the new Unite license, journeys is gonna take over. So yeah, I mean, like, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm assuming it's still a 10-minute gameplay. I'm assuming. Alright, I was supposed to get a napkin. Shoot, I got distracted. Okay, give me 1 minute. Literally. Alright, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, so what were we talking about? All right, we're talking about. Well, I was talking about MOBAs in general. So, guys, a MOBA is not designed to be played the same way over and over and over again. All right? Think about it from a competitive perspective, all right? And we'll use myself an example so I don't, offend anyone and their inability to adapt to playing the game. So, obviously I'm a jungler. So, this is like a jungle POV, for example. So this is me. Pretend I played Pokemon Unite the same way over and over and over again. So, just as an example, I leave the base and I go clear the Xatu, alright? So, this is number 1. Step 1. This is pretty much what everyone does. You clear the Xatu. And then, you know what? Just for simplicity's sake, we'll keep it very simple. We'll go to, camp number 2 right here. Alright? Then I go over here. Camp number 3. And then I go to bottom lane. Pretend I did that. You have to keep an open mind here, alright? Pretend I did this every single game that I played, period. Forever and ever. Playing Pokemon Unite. Now, from a competitive perspective, let's say, for example, it's time for Chan to play in the UCS, alright? If Chan is playing in the UCS, and then, whoever I'm playing against is researching my gameplay, or they're looking at past footage of my jungle strats or my jungle gameplay, and they picked up on this tendency of, oh, guys, Chan always paths this way. He always does the Natu, he always does the buff, then he does that third camp, and then he always goes straight to bottom lane. Now, obviously that would be very bad, because that would make me predictable. That would make it so that they could plan against that. They could counter, they could plan in advance, they could play appropriately, they can react, or even take the initiative to do things. Like, for example, if they knew that I always went with this jungle pathing, one example would be, oh, they'll go invade, maybe, and go steal this buff because they know I never take it. Or, they could go send multiple people to this section at this time because they know I'm always there. Or better yet, let's say, for example, because Chan always does this, and that, and that, and that, and then he goes down bottom. Oh, what if we send multiple people bottom lane because we know Chan's gonna be there at approximately this time because he always clears that way? The point I'm trying to make is the reason why you don't play the same game, the same way over and over and over again, is because then you are just making yourself predictable. It makes it easy for people to play against you. And then on top of that, it's just it's easier for other people to play when they have that certain, that knowledge beforehand. Think about it like this. If I knew what you were gonna do before you even do it, or if I knew what you were gonna do before you even did it, that would make the game so much easier because it's basically just playing the game with knowledge that I basically shouldn't have. It's like the equivalent of, just as an example, when you guys watch the game from spectator mode, you see everything across the map. You see your side, and then you see the other, the other side. If you have all that information available, without even having to really think about it, it just makes the game easier to play as a whole. Period. Which is why you should always be adjusting to the situation rather than doing one single strat every single time. It's also using another example is when someone is a OTP, a one-trick pony. If you know someone only plays literally one singular Pokemon extremely well, and you have a draft match, you just ban that one Pokemon, and then you just lower their impact in the game because they don't have access to that one Pokemon that they play really well. There's a lot. I can go on with these types of examples, though, but the point is just yeah, it just like you need to adjust to the many variables of the things that are present in the game. Um, Improvements to the main menu. The shop screen was changed in October 2025, but as of December 4th, 2025, the main menu will also change. Similar UI improvements are also planned for the future. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. This right here means absolutely nothing to me. Like this to me, like, unless, first of all, get rid of those like eight screens that are trying to convince me to buy EOS gems and spend money by swiping my credit card. Like, if you're not removing that, I don't give a shit. Quite frankly. Like, I play on Nintendo Switch 1. Like a lot of you do. Not all of you, a lot of you though. This game, the menu, the interface, it's laggy as fuck. Alright? Like, I'm spending like 20 years trying to load into the game, on top of another 20 years to mash the B button just to get to the main menu. And then I still have to get to the lobby screen, and then I still have to find a game. Like, guys, like, unless the UI is improving the speed of which things load, or you're removing things that are absolutely not necessary, I don't care. This to me, this is like a nothing sandwich right here. This is a nothing burger. No one gives a shit about this. Alright? What else? Like, going down to... regarding changes to XP point distribution, we will be adjusting battle XP mechanics in the December 18th update. Until now, the way XP points were distributed was complex and no, it wasn't. Like, complex for who? Who are we talking? Like, what bozo tier player didn't understand how XP points work? Are these the same people that didn't know what XP share does? Hello? Like, please, how about you, the dev that wrote this letter, tell me how it was complex? Because I need to, like, complex for whom? But anyways, okay. They're starting off with ginormous cap, but let's continue. I'll come back to that point. And the amount distributed fluctuated based on a variety of conditions, such as which player defeated the Pokemon and whether a nearby ally was holding XP share. This narrowed which held items and strategies players used, and made it difficult to understand how to work together with allies along paths. No, it didn't. It did not. Like, okay, here's the problem. I don't think it's occurred to these devs that people are just naturally fucking stupid when they play this game. Like, the simplest concepts are too advanced for the average grown adult that plays this game, because for whatever reason, they still haven't figured out, like, 4 to 5 years later, what XP share does. You want an example? Here, I'll give you a prime example. Give me literally 60, like, less than 60 seconds. You can even count to 30 slowly. Hold on. Okay, here. I have it open. Not even 30 seconds, alright? This was from today, by the way. This was from today. This is LAIC, day number 1. I have a bunch of grown-ass adults playing this game competitively, and you know what I've noticed? Not a single one of them has XP share on the purple side. This is the average Pokemon Unite player. These guys don't read. They don't understand what things do, because otherwise, if they knew, they would use the most overpowered item in the game. But obviously, these are also the types of players. Oh, I only play for fun. I play this game casually. Blah 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 blah. Like, who gives a shit? Like, what? You can't read, brother? You can't look at, like, you can have just as, like, I promise you'll have at least more of a fun time with the XP share than you did getting stomped into the ground and just feeding nonstop the entire game. I don't think the feeding would have changed regardless. You got gapped. But at least he would have been a higher level, and maybe you could have scored some more points. Maybe you could have got some more kills because you were a higher level. Like, come on. Like, when I saw this, I'm just like, bro, like, I don't even understand, like, how people are just this bad at the game. But here we are. 2025, several years later, people didn't learn jack shit. Hold on. Okay. Blah, 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 and made it difficult to understand how to work together with allies along paths. Oh, yeah, sorry. This is also to accommodate people that were constantly jungle taxing. Hi guys, I'm gonna pick a weak early game Pokemon, then lose lane, and then go to jungle because obviously I'm losing lane. That's basically like the most common example that I experience on a game-to-game basis. Not even like a day-to-day, just like literally game-to-game basis. We are discontinuing this system and will be changing how XP points are distributed to make leveling up with allies easier. Main changes to the system. XP point distribution will change as follows. Ready? Gaining XP points as a group. XP points gained by defeating wild Pokemon with an ally will be eventually split between all players in the group. Evenly split, by the way. So that just means that if you're in a group, instead of it being unevenly distributed between the person who secures the farm, is now going to be like, you know, everyone's going to get an equal chunk of experience, no matter who secures it. Regardless of who defeated the Pokemon, or whether nearby allies is holding XP share. So that's that. They're basically making it so that XP share is not as important anymore. I don't know if they're going to make changes to XP share itself, but the way it's being portrayed to me, at least in that sentence, is that now, it doesn't matter who gets the last hit on the camp. It doesn't matter how many people are there. Everyone's going to get the same amount of experience. So, also, there was that rumor that was ongoing for quite some time. The rumor was like, oh, supports and defenders are not going to need XP share anymore. I mean, in a way, I guess that's true now. Because everyone's just going to get the same amount of experience. In addition, the total XP points gained as a team will be greater when defeating wild Pokemon with an ally than when defeating wild Pokemon solo. This change makes it important to work together. Furthermore, the total amount of experience points gained when defeating wild Pokemon in a group of 3 or more will be the same as when defeating wild Pokemon as a pair. So basically, if you have 2 people clearing a camp, that's going to be offering more experience than if someone was soloing a single camp. So I can see... Okay, my question is, how much more experience are you getting? That's the real question. Because it really just depends on how much more... It really just depends on how much more experience you're getting for that additional person. Because think about it like this. If you're getting more experience per camp, depending on how much experience you get, you could potentially send 4 people in the jungle. Like, you can send 2 separate pairs of players, like, you know, pair number 1, and, you know, let's go back to the map. Hold on. Where is it? Alright. So let's look at it like this. So depending, like, this is contingent on how much experience you're getting. But in theory, you could have, like, you know, 1, 2... 3, 4. Like, they could clear this, they could clear that, and then they could make their way to lane. Like, it's not limited to just this, by the way. This is just an example. But, like, you could do this, you could do that, and then you can go that way. Like it really just depends. Or let's see here. They don't even need to like also like I said, it depends on how much experience you're getting. It's not clear on that. So like obviously in theory it could work, but at the same time if it's not worthwhile then you wouldn't do this. I think the new strat would be like if I were to be realistic, I think like a viable strat would be either send one person top or send one person bottom. So think of it like this. You could either go one or one and two, and then vice versa. So you can have two people top or two people bottom, and then the one person on the other lane, and then you have two people clearing the jungle. Because if you're getting more experience than if someone's soloing, you send two people to the jungle. Not only do they clear faster, but they get more experience as well. I think based on the wording and what information is present, I think that's will be the ideal setup. So it would change the dynamic of how people play the game. Not to mention, it would kind of propel what people funnel their experience to. Because, like, obviously, you know, you have your evolutions, you have your very slow early game Pokemon that take for like, you know, they take a little while to scale. But that just means that they'll be able to scale significantly faster. But we'll see. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting, but we'll see. We shall see. I think so far out of everything, that's probably like the most intriguing change that's coming to Pokemon Unite for me. I don't like this though. This right here, like I don't like. Unfortunately, it's a like I think the main purpose is to prevent split pushing and also prevent one laner. Wait, I think the main purpose is to prevent split pushing and also prevent one laner to steal all the early farm with last hits. No, the okay. The main purpose is that people didn't understand what Expedia does or just didn't give a shit about it. So now, basically, Expedia, if they keep Expedia the same way it is now, is basically an irrelevant item. So it really just like it really just depends on whether or not they change Expedia or not. Because if they don't change it, it doesn't seem necessary anymore. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Because no matter what, it's equal. Like the XP is going to be equally distributed, and you get more experience for clearing, no matter who secures it. So basically, think about it like this: everyone has a built-in XP share. That's pretty much how it goes now, or what will happen in the near future. So it's less. It's going to be less relevant. 100%. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Alright, the total amount of XP points gained when defeating wild Pokemon in a group of 3 or more will be the same as when defeating Pokemon as a pair. So yeah, if you're clearing stuff, so obviously the disclaimer right here is 3 or more people won't affect, like, the amount of experience you gain doesn't scale past 2. Alright? So like if you have 3, 4, or 5 people clearing a camp, it's not like you're gonna get like 3, 4, or 5 times more. It stops, the cutoff point is 2. And then if more people are there to leech experience, you're still going to get it evenly distributed. You're just going to be getting less. So keep that in mind. The magic number is number 2. Changes to XP share. Due to the changes above, XP share will no longer affect how XP points are distributed. Okay, so basically XP share loses its... Anything with regards to what it has to do with levels, it's no longer, it's nullified now because of the change they're making. Planned future improvements. Additional features for team play and communication. We are currently developing features to improve playing and communication as a team. With these changes, we hope even more players to get experience for fun team play available in Pokemon Unite. Play again with the same team. A button will be added to the battle results screen that allows players to play again with the same teammates. A team will automatically be formed that includes all teammates who press the button, and they'll be able to proceed to the next button together. Hell fucking no. I don't give a shit about this. Like, you think I'm gonna fucking play together again with these dog water fucking random players? In what reality do you think I'm gonna make use of this button? Alright? The average solo queue player, alright, the average solo queue player that you encounter has like a 50% win rate and below. The average Unite player, okay, think about it like this. The average Unite player has like a 52% win rate, the average player. Like, this is like your casual gamer. Your below average gamer is someone that has basically anything below that, which is usually, most people usually have like a 50% win rate and below, like in the literal sense. And then of course, like, your above average players probably have around, like, you know, your above average players probably have around like 55. Around there, give or take. Obviously, these percentages vary depending on whether you're like a 3-stack player or 5-stack player or you spam duos. That's different. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're a perma 3-stack player and you're below 60%, like, you're probably washed. I don't care. Like, it's so easy to take advantage of the broken matchmaking system because half that, like, it doesn't take into account your rank. It just literally, when you play as a duo or trio, you know what the game does? It just tries to find another available trio or duo. Same thing with 5-stacks. Like, at this point in time, Pokemon Unite doesn't have enough players to accommodate the skill, the skill levels between the players. Like, beggars can't be choosers. It's just trying to find you a game. Period. And, like, how is it fair if, like, a sweaty 5-stack runs into, like, a casual group of master players or, like, master and ultra tier players? It's not. But obviously, you know, they're queuing up for a match, you're queuing up for a match, couldn't find anyone else? Alright, here you guys go. Play against each other. Invite players to voice chat. Yeah, okay. Considering people get banned, and guys, I'm speaking practically, alright? This, to me, I would not even risk it. The reason why I say it is because people can get mass reported without literally saying anything bad. Like, if I were to cough into the microphone, if enough people reported me, I would still get voice banned. Like, people can just do that out of spite or pettiness or whatever. So I'm not gonna risk going into a voice chat with someone and jeopardizing my account for no reason. Because I imagine it's going to be the same way that you can choose. Let's see here. In ranked matches at Master Rank and above, players will be able to invite teammates they match with to voice chat using the microphone button on the Pokemon selection screen. Praise teammates using Quick Chat. A new Quick Chat filled with preset messages will be added to the lobby. After a battle ends, you'll be able to send teammates messages such as "excellent teamwork last battle" or "impressive play." All of these are being developed with the goal of positive player interactions. Negative or inappropriate voice chat will be continued to be discouraged as we continue to work towards a comfortable environment for all. We'll continue working toward a game experience everyone can enjoy. Based on feedback from players and fans, we hope you continue to enjoy Pokemon Unite, the Pokemon Unite team. I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, this right here, like, this doesn't matter to me. I don't care about this. I don't care about this. Like, if we go up even further. Yeah, don't care about this either. Unless there's a reward. Unless there's a reward to incentivize grinding, I don't care about this either. Hold on. I don't care about any of this either. This is irrelevant. I think the only things that matter to me are Kyogre. Actually, because I'm scrolling, okay. And then that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much it. Did I miss anything? Yeah, I honestly think that's it. Those are the only two things that matter to me. And even so, the XP distribution really just depends on how much. Like, how much bonus experience am I getting for, people clearing the jungle together? Or, like, farm together, I should say. But no, so here's the thing, though. I don't actually agree with that because, yeah, you can choose to, go into a voice chat with someone, but, like, keep in mind that these are, like, random people. Like, obviously, okay. This option is going to be available to anyone that's master rank and above. So master and legend rank. I imagine it's going to be optional, or sorry, available to people that play the game outside of like a 3-stack duo or 5-stack, like 5-stack trio or duo. So like you have the option to like voice chat with other randoms, but what if like the person you choose to like what if I get invited by some random person to a voice chat and they're just like a legitimate weirdo? there has to be some sort of a contingency in place, right? I would hope so. And not to mention, yes, you are absolutely right. Like, I'm not joking about this. There have been legitimate fucking pedophiles in this community. Like, I like, kids should not be interacting with grown ass adults. I just think it's fucking weird. Alright? I genuinely think that it's weird. Like, yes, you're playing a game, but like, I just don't think it's healthy to have that. Well, like, I don't know. It's like a gray zone for me. Like, if it's strictly talking about the game, and then you just say peace out to each other like after the game's over, then that's fine. But like, I personally don't think it's just like a relatively healthy environment to be doing that. You can probably still mute people the way you can now. Yeah, for sure, probably. Or you could, like, I don't know how it's gonna work. Like, maybe you have like this little voice call thing, and you enter or you leave, or like maybe you just stay in it until the game ends, and then you can choose to mute whatever. I don't know. It's yeah. Like the thing about okay, here's the thing. The thing about this is like if you have people to play with, this is irrelevant because rather than play with randoms, you can literally just duo, trio, 5 stack. This feature is more so if you don't have anyone to play with. All right. Like I'm gonna be honest, like that's honestly for people just if you don't have anyone to play with and you just happen to run across someone that you think is good, it's like okay, you wanna be friends, you wanna play together. This one right here, gray zone for me. This one for here. Who cares, guys? Like, does it really like? Do you guys need that much, or like not you guys, but like, do people really need that self confidence boost of oh, someone used the quick chat message of great job, you're a superstar. Wow, I can't believe you made such an awesome play. Like, who cares? But that's pretty much it, guys. There was, you know, I honestly didn't. I thought I would be done sooner, but that's pretty much everything. So, just to run it back, guys, very quickly, we'll speed run it. EOS coins getting discontinued December 4th, 2025. So either use your coins beforehand or you can convert them for miscellaneous items or license points which you use for licenses which range from 325 to 1960 on the higher end. Ranking system. No more performance points and diamonds. Now you have a gauge. A points gauge that will determine whether you go up or down. It's just a different system, but you still have to win matches to climb, so like who cares? New rank, legend rank. No rewards or details besides the fact that there's a new rank. The Sky Ruins. The map has been adjusted. Kyogre is replacing Groudon at a later date. Yeah, at a later date. It's not specified. Main menu changes. December 4th as well. December 18th. This is the bigger one. XP share is getting changed December 18th. And then finally, this. I don't even know what this, like this right here, this doesn't even say when it's happening. Chan, I would like to request content, a stream challenge to Masters where you always hit the keep same lobby after every win. That that's not even up to me. That would be up to the players that are, playing the game. Like what if they say no? Then obviously the challenge just ends because they said no. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I just went live for this. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I just went live for this. Apparently, it was a big thing. Honestly, I think people like to over exaggerate. Like, okay, you know what? One last thing before I go. Let's look at let's look at some of the comments, right? Yeah, I always love when people glaze the devs whenever they do something. Hold on. Good changes. I think it's time to consider adding a solo duo only mode. Playing against a trio of 12,000 plus games with a trio on your team of 1,000 games is an unfair situation as a solo player. True. Maybe I wasn't familiar with your game, but okay, pop off. Okay, cringe. NGL, I can see some toxic people use this in a negative way. I mean, sure. Is no one noticing that if your team is fighting nonsense, disadvantageous battles while underleveled, now you, as a solo, get actively punished with less XP for farming while they're busy inting, so now you can't make up for your team's horrendous lack of macro? I mean, like, that's still the same thing now. Like, it's not like that changes from now to after. Regardless of what they add in this upcoming patch, you can't change your teammates. Like, your teammates, it's a team game. At the end of the day, if your teammates are gonna sell the game by doing stupid shit, then obviously you're just gonna be punished for it regardless. This got to be the biggest update you are all doing to the game, and I can't believe I'm saying this, so I'm actually excited to see what you're going to do with the new rank system. 2026 might be the year of salvation. Copium. Hopefully y'all fix the performance on Switch 1. The game still lags in random circumstances, even on the main menu. Yep, true. Wait, did you just decide to save your game? No, they didn't. The pitch. A coach mode where I pick 3 to 5 Pokemon for my United licenses. My opponent does the same. We pick our teams, move sets, hollowware items, and what their starting lanes will be. From there, we let them loose on whatever arena they're playing in and watch the chaos ensue. This is awesome. Glad y'all are making some really cool changes. I hope the new rank system encourages y'all to add more ranks beyond. Guys, we don't. New ranks doesn't matter. I don't care. Devs are actually listening to the player base for once. A much welcome surprise. In when did the devs ever listen to the players? That's a real question. These devs are so random. They just saved it. They didn't save shit. Okay. So honestly, the opinions are pretty mixed. Some people think dubs. Some people the game is being saved or saying the game is saved, while some other people are be like, you could have done this, you could do that, yada yada yada. So, I mean, we'll see closer to the date. Keep in mind, guys, the major update is not taking place until December 18th. So we're November 22nd right now. So that's, let's see, 1 week. Let's see. 1 week, 2 week. Basically, a little over, like, 3.5 weeks. All right, so 3.5 weeks before the major update happens. The major update being the XP share update. And the Kyogre official date hasn't been announced. So that is TBD. We know Kyogre is going to replace Groudon eventually. I don't know if it's at the beginning of the season. I don't know if it's like later on. But the date was not specified in the dev letter, unless I'm just blind. Let me just look at the Japanese version really quickly. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah. Oh, okay, see? Here. Never mind, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. See, this is also a problem that I noticed as well. Why is the Japanese version more detailed than the English version? So, okay, so my mistake. December 4th, Kyogre is dropping into Thea Sky Ruins. So that, instead of 3 weeks, I stand corrected. So in order to correct myself, the next big update would be in... Let's see. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So 2 weeks until Kyogre. 2 weeks until Kyogre. 2 weeks until the home screen improvements. Basically, like 4 weeks of a rounding up for the XP update. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, guys. That's pretty much it, guys. Um, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed the small little talk about the patch notes. Obviously, I linked it in the chat. It's the pinned message at the top. So if you want to look at the patch notes on your own, you can just click that link there. It'll take you straight to what I'm looking at, and you can just read it at your own pace. I'm gonna head out now. I'm gonna get some rest. I was gonna go to sleep, but then this patch notes dropped. So I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna wake up early, and I'll see you guys in a couple of hours because I'm gonna watch NAIC, or sorry, LAIC, day number 2 in a few hours. Oh, I also, yeah, I am gonna be watching LAIC. Oh, by the way, they did release the brackets as well, so I guess I can show you this as well very quickly. Let's see here. All right, so here is the bracket, guys. So top 16. All right, top 16. They're gonna narrow it down to, I don't know if it's top 8 or top 4. So we have Kakem Esports versus Moom Esports in the left side bracket. Peru Unite versus Spinal. DreamMax versus Underdogs. Nemesis versus Aegis Flames. Force Team versus Renegade. Tuzzy Esports versus Game Over Esports, Infamous Gaming over Mandakaru Esports, and Dignitas versus Stamina Esports. Oh, wait, no, this is the wrong one. Sorry, this is the wrong one. Where is it? I know this is the wrong one because, this is the right one. Okay. So, yeah. Let's see here. Kakem Esports versus Game Over Esports, Aegis Flames versus Mandakaru Esports, DreamMax versus Moom, Nemesis versus Stamina, Force Team versus Spinal, Tuzzy Esports versus Underdogs, Infamous Gaming versus Renegade, and Dignitas versus Peru. So this is probably the matchup of the day. Honestly, I was, okay, I can't. Hold on, let me hide my camera for just a second. This is probably the matchup of the day right here. Dignitas versus Peru. This is the, TTV. Oh, you can't even see because it's red. Sorry. TTV. I hate this array. Okay, hold on. TTV versus World Champions, Peru Unite. So naturally, it's going to be a very disappointing. It's going to be a very disappointing day for one of these teams because one of these teams is going to be I don't know if there's a losers bracket or not, but Yeah, one of these teams is going to be knocked out relatively early on, and that's not going to be very fun. So yeah, either you are the world champion fan or you're the Dignitas fan from North America. But either way, I think that's probably going to be the series I would like to see the most. So we'll see. We shall see. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. I'm not going to waste any more time because I want to go to bed. So I will see you guys bright and early for LAIC day number 2. I'll play solo queue in between, the breaks and all that stuff. And maybe I play some solo queue afterwards. I don't know, no promises. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. And if I don't, hopefully you have a great start to your weekend. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you guys are in. I will see you guys later today. Adios. And catch you around.